Gentlemen, welcome back to Mindset Monday. If you're new to Mindset Monday, watch out. We got Chris Lavin coming on in just a second. Check this out, guys. Chris was just speaking at a full event. We had investors fly in from all over the country. Check this out. I'm going to give you a little clip, and then we're going to bring Chris up live. You ready for this? Here is Chris in action.
Can I get that from you guys? Who's going to really do all the modules? I don't put up with BS excuses. I do not stop. I don't take no for an answer. I don't let the devil whisper in my ear and tell me I am not good enough. There is nobody that can tell me that I can't do this. Why not me? Why not you? You're stopping you. You, listen to how powerful you are. You are stopping you. You have the power.
By the end of this, Chris had everybody in the room ready to take action, ready to go out and conquer the world financially. A lot of really good people in that room too. Anyways, let's let Bruce give the rest of the warm up, and then please help me welcome Mr. Chris Lavin to the stage. Bruce.
And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Presenting the master of the real estate deal and entrepreneur champion of the world, Chris, the negotiator Lavin.
Hey, everybody. I love that intro. I've heard it 1,000 times, and I love it. And, maybe I'm a little bit egotistical. But I want to continue what I was so moved to say during that event this weekend. And basically, it's this. If you believe you can't, you're probably right. You're probably right. So what we need to do is what I needed to do and what I believe you need to do at this point is expand your belief. Expand your results, not the other way around. If you believe you can do greater things, you'll do greater things. Not you'll do greater things and then you'll believe you can do greater things. It doesn't work that way. Listen, you have a perfect vision board. You can speak possibilities and positivity into the universe and into your goals. You can acquire the strategies to get you there. But if you don't believe you're the person who can live that vision, none of it happens. If you don't believe, it can't possibly happen. So I want you to stop right now and answer this question. What do you truly believe is possible for you? And the reason I want to ask you that question, and I want you to answer it internally, because the reality is that if you believe you can do this, God believes you can do this, right? Growing up the way that I did, in the instability, homelessness, chaos, violence, drunkenness, nothing suggested that I'd raise millions of dollars, that I'd build businesses and exit them and make a ton of money. Nothing said that I could lead men, and absolutely nothing indicated that I could have a positive impact on people's lives. None of that. The only thing that changed along the way was my belief. And the reason that my belief changed is because I believe God touched me, got my attention, pulled me out of the darkness that I was in. I had to expand what I believed was possible long before my circumstances did. I grew up in horrible situations with drug dealers and prostitutes and believe it or not, at a point in my life, I looked up to those people. Those were the heroes. The guy on the corner with a lot of gold, with a bunch of money, the roll in his pocket. Those are the people that I idolized and I looked up to. Before I raised that first 100,000, I had to believe I could. Before I exited my first 8-figure business, I had to believe. Before we raised $14 million, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Before we raised $13.8 million in 14 days, I had to believe it was possible. I get overwhelmed with gratitude because today I live a life that's beyond my wildest dreams, beyond anything I could have ever comprehended when I was living in that mindset, that negative mindset, that broken mindset, that limited mindset. You know, God has opened my eyes to possibilities that I didn't know existed. If I look up to Him, amazing things happen. Many people today call me the negotiator. I'm humble, but I know I can out-negotiate most people in the room. I know I can. It's just who I am. I'm persistent. I don't take no for an answer, and I go for it. And you know why? Because I believe always in what I'm negotiating for. But guess what? If I don't believe I have what it takes, it won't come true. What I've noticed is that every breakthrough in my life follows a pattern. My internal belief expands first, the external results followed. Every time. You know, my partner Nate, he always says, I talk things into existence. Because reality is I'm talking what I believe, and then they come true because we take the actions to make it happen. But there's no way that like you're going to swing for the fences if you don't believe that it's even possible. So if you haven't grasped the fact that God wants that for you, and listen, back this up to what I always say. Whenever I step into a situation, I ask God first. If God tells me yes and to go, there is no stopping me. And if you have that same faith and that same conviction, if you believe that God is directing you the path of your life, there's no way that anything on this earth can stop you. Period. So stop messing around. God tells you to do it, do it. Most people think that belief comes after success. But the truth is, faith comes long before success. Faith and belief is the catalyst, results of the confirmation of what you already know. It's why believing more is up on that wall right there today. So before you think about your 2026 goals, before you set this exciting resolution that I'm going to lose 30 pounds, I'm going to save more money, before you map out your deals and your income, you have to, at a gut level, in your heart, expand your belief. In Ephesians chapter 3, they say, God can do a way more thing than we could ever think of asking for, using the power that is already in us. So let's give Him the glory forever. What does that mean? That means that, just what I was saying earlier, like you may have this picture of how great your life should be or the things that you want. God's got a picture, a plan already painted and already laid down for your life. That's what you should aspire to. You know, there was a time in my life where I was growing up and living wrong, and the whole goal of my life was to have a Buick Grand National with 20-inch rims, 1,000-watt stereo system, and $1,000 in my pocket. If I had lived to those aspirations, my life would have been shortchanged. I have so much more than that. And I'm not talking about out here, people. I'm talking about the so much more is in here. The power and the ability to impact the world in a positive way, because God has empowered me, and for Him is the glory, not me. So what I want you to take away from this, the limit on your deals, your income, and calling isn't the market. It's not what's going on out there. It's the capacity of your belief and how much you can expand it, right? It's not what the guy Joe over there is doing. It's what you believe you can do. So I need you to identify a belief that has been limiting your vision. A lot of times it's fear of success. Like people are so afraid to be successful. Sometimes it's the capacity of your belief on how much you can expand. So take one action a week that reflects the bigger belief. Action aligned with that new belief is how you accelerate your results. Align the belief, go for it, set that goal because you know you prayed about it, right? So God has told you to move forward in that belief. He's given you confirmation and affirmation. Move forward and execute. Do one thing a day to accelerate yourself towards that goal. Thank you all for listening.
Beautiful, Chris. Hey, Chris, do you got a minute or two where we can take a few questions?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, guys, this is your chance. If you've got a question, go ahead, put it in the chat now. It will come anonymously. I will not read your name out loud. It'll just come anonymously back to me, and I'll read it over to Chris. If you've got a question, if you want to dip into the brain of an multiple eight-figure sales on his businesses, if you want to dip into Chris's brain, this is your chance right now.
I'll
Chris,
just ask that you leave a little bit behind when you leave. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. What if I share my goals with people and they bring me down? How do I shift their belief?
Listen, one of the most important things in my life, it's none of my business what people think about me. It's none of my business what people think about me. I surround myself with people who lift me up, who get me to aspire to greater things. There's an old saying that says it's hard to soar with eagles when you're hanging with turkeys, right? So you need to get the turkeys out of your life and get the positive people in your life that are a little bit further down the path than you if possible. A lot further down the path would be ideal. Hang out with those people. Spiritual men, spiritual women, people that are going to bring you the light rather than the darkness. You want people that will give to you so that you can get charged up and give to other people. Get rid of those people out of your life. Don't even talk to them about it again. Talk to them about the weather. Talk to them about how the Cubs are doing this year, something like that. But don't talk about them, about your dreams and aspirations if they're just going to crush them. You have the power to not do that. I don't care who they are in your life.
How is the best way to break to the next level? I'm surrounded by millionaires. How do I get to the billionaires?
You start going where the billionaires are and watching, listening, and learning. I know that sounds insane, but I know a lot of very rich people. A lot of them. I live in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, there are a whole bunch of rich people that are not in my life that I know. They may be, hi, how are you, friends? And then there are people who live like I do. One of the basic things in my life is I love to help people and give back. So the people that give back to me have that same mindset. So in order for you to break through and start thinking like a billionaire, you got to be around billionaires. You got to start reading the right books, putting yourself in the right mindset. And more importantly, believing that could be you, if not today, tomorrow, or the next day. Absolutely important.
How do I stay motivated after a setback?
Beautiful. Setbacks. Listen, my path to success was not a linear growth, right? It looked more like this, right? That's how it went. So a setback for me has always been a lesson that I've learned, right? And here's the cool thing, right? Even when I take a setback, in the moment, it feels like a punch in the face. But in the big picture, in the grand picture of things, that little, scuff on my knee has now given me tools to help somebody else out. So what am I saying? I go and I do something and I make a decision and it falls apart. So now when I'm mentoring another guy, I can say, hey, listen, you don't have to repeat my failure. This is what I did. These were the negative results of it. So now, not only did that setback help me and give me knowledge, it also gave me a tool and another way for me to help the next man. At the end of the day, that's what fulfills me, is helping other people, watching them grow and watching them succeed in life. So I don't look at setbacks as failures. I truly look at them as learning experiences. Do I like them? Heck no. But that's the reality of my life. In all things, be grateful. In all things, be joyous.
Next one, how do I get past the limiting belief that I do not yet know enough about multifamily to offer or write an LOI, even though I've been through coursework, training many times? It feels paralyzing. How do I get past the limiting belief when I feel like I don't know enough?
Very easily. You partner with somebody who does, you do it with them, watch what they do, and then you practice, right? So if we were partnered on a deal and that's exactly the way you feel, you're like, Chris has got the deal, blah, 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 I would help you walk through that LOI and make that happen to present it. I would get on the phone with you to help you through the negotiations. Bottom line is you partner with somebody that's done it, that has the experience. You get what we like to call a Sherpa, a mentor, or someone to lead you down the path so that you know that you're in trusted hands. Nate and I have a proven record of transaction success. You would want to partner with somebody that has a proven record of transaction success in order to move it down the road.
Awesome. Next one. My son is in the hospital right now, and my thoughts and my concentration are revolving around his health. Looks like daughter has some health challenges too. My prayers are for their successful and well-being. How do I stay focused at a time like this?
I have a foundational belief, and this is going to sound horrible. And first of all, my heart goes out to you. I know what that's like. I've lost children. I know what that pain is like. I have a foundational belief in my life, and that's nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Now, while that may seem callous, Scripture tells me, "Be joyful in all things." It does not say, "Be joyful for all things." This is a time in your life where you're going through a very difficult thing. But I ask, what I do, I can't ask you to do anything. What I do when things get difficult like this, I literally take a sheet of paper and I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. And then I turn the care of those kids over to God. Because the reality is there's nothing I can do. It's in God's hands. There's nothing I can do. So I pray for them to have peace and for them to know God. And then I focus on the things that I'm grateful for. That allows me to move forward. Because I know one thing for a fact, that the devil used worry, fear, and all of those negative emotions to wear me down so that he can attack me and tell me, your kids are sick. What kind of God would allow your kids to be sick? Stay strong. Stay focused on the things to be grateful for. And be joyous in all things.
Chris, next one. How important is health in my pursuit for financial abundance and independence? Can you share your daily routine and how you take care of your health?
People wouldn't believe it, but I'm actually not that healthy. But I do a lot of healthy things. What do I mean by that? Like I get up every morning and I'm gonna share my day with you. I get up in the morning, turn on the coffee pot, I go in the living room, get on my knees in front of my couch, and I pray. I ask God to reveal his will for me today, and I ask him to make me man enough to carry it out. And then I ask him that people see him through me and not me, keep my ego at bay, and I glorify God in all things that I do. And then I shut up and I listen for God to give me direction for the day. I then get up, I have a cup of coffee, check some quick emails, and then I go to the gym. And I'm usually in the gym playing pickleball and working out for some total of an hour to an hour and a half a day. And that gets my body in a place that allows me to deal with the stress for the day. Why do I have a stressful day? I have a stressful day because physically stressful, because I actually work two full-time jobs and then some. And on top of that, I do a lot of mentoring and counseling and volunteering. So that morning start of that exercise helps me get into a positive mindset by allowing the endorphins to be released into my body so that I feel good throughout the day. I tend to eat pretty healthy. I tend to try to watch out what I'm putting in my belly. I try to stay away from carbs and that kind of thing. Not always so successful. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, but that's the reality. And lastly, I try to get to bed at a reasonable time because that's what helps me rebuild after a long, hard day. That's my routine.
Beautiful. You got a couple more here, Chris, if you got just a couple more minutes.
Sure.
Next one is asking about, hey, I've been through the broker portion of the training. I had a broker ask for the seller in the Zoom call. I'm getting T12s and a rent roll, but they keep coming back to the qualification letter. What should I provide since I'm new to multifamily? And Chris, if you're okay, I'll answer that one.
Yeah, please do.
So that one, what you'll want to do is reach out to Katerina and ask her for the proof of funds letter, and she'll get you the hookup. She will hook you up. Anyone that's in part of Chris's program has access to that. So just ask Katerina. We'll get you the hookup.
They give you bank statements and everything.
Beautiful. Your next one is, I'm interested in hearing about fasting. Could you teach us about fasting?
Yeah, you don't eat. That's all you need to know about fasting. I fast for 21 days. I fast from January 2nd to January 23rd is when I come off the fast. Nothing but water and a little bit of electrolytes. I have high blood pressure, so I have to have some electrolytes during that time. But fasting is one of the most amazing experiences in my life, and I believe it's what's allowing me to be here with stage 4 cancer. As I, that it completely wiping that out, and it like allows my body on its own to naturally fight it. And that's cool, but that's not the coolest part. So what the coolest part is this is I am a guy that whatever I do, anything major decision, I get on my knees and pray. When I'm fasting, my body gets into this state that allows my mind and my spirit to be more connected to God. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not a lunatic, but I can here to tell you that I am so connected with God. It's like a constant communication. So that spiritual connection like keeps me in that fast. The first 3 days are very difficult, the hunger pains and breaking the habits of eating. And by the fourth day, I'm here to tell you that you can smell Swedish goldfish in a Ziploc bag 2 blocks away because you're so hungry, right? It's unbelievable. But by the time you get to that fifth and sixth day and you find that spiritual connection, you just don't want to give it up. And I have come to believe that if your body has, no, I've come to know that if your body has enough fat to support you, you're fine, right? Each pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. You need about 2,000 to 2,500 calories to survive in a day because you shut down basically your digestive system, so that's not using calories. The scary part about fasting is what happens when you break the fast. It's very important for me, and I'm not giving you medical advice. It's very important for me to start that fast with no sugars, to break that fast, I'm sorry, with no sugars and no carbs. I literally, the first thing I eat is an egg, a scrambled egg. And then I wait a little while, and then I eat a little bit of fruit and a little bit of vegetables. And then after several hours, I'm able to return to a semi-normal diet. But fasting is an amazing thing, and it's biblical. Jesus fasted for 40 days. Moses fasted for 40 days. Daniel fasted for 21, eating legumes. So it's an amazing thing.
Chris, this is amazing, man. I'll toss this last one at you for today and then let you wrap up. What about coffee?
Well, there's two schools of thought for that, right? I've weaned myself off of coffee by the time I start my fast. But if you drink black coffee, there is no calories. You're putting other chemicals in your body. You can go back and forth. For me, it's a no-go. I will drink decaf teas and some flavored teas as long as it doesn't contain any calories and most stuff. Oh, and for complete transparency, I found out that the electrolytes I take have about 4 calories in them. So I say I'm consuming 0 calories, but the reality is I'm consuming about 4 calories a day. But yeah, I think that if you want to drink a little black coffee, you might be all right. But if you're looking for an exception, you're missing the point. The point is commitment and a sacrifice to God, for your relationship with God. So what about coffee? Your heart might not be in the right place. Rethink that.
Chris, you're getting tons of comments. Thank you. Thank you. There's lots of love in the chat right now. Anything that you want to say to wrap up today?
Listen, I just want you to understand, you heard that rant that I was having on Saturday. And that was a result of, I had a bunch of people in the room that claimed they wanted to be successful financially. But when I asked, only one person had done the work. So you need to ask yourself, does God love you? The answer is yes, he does. And he's going to allow the path to be laid out in front of you. But unfortunately, you have to walk it. You have to make it happen. Nobody else can do it for you. They just can't. So I want you to invest in yourself, whatever that looks like, right? Spiritually, emotionally, financially, and take that next step towards becoming a better person and having a positive impact on this world. If you believe you can't, you're right. But if you believe you can, you probably will. God bless you and thank you all.